Hello to everyone, and welcome to our weekly harvest at Fintech Garden podcast on YouTube and our social medias. I am pleased to present my co-host Igor Tomovic, the CEO of Dash Devs. Hello, Igor.
Hello, Dimitro. How are you?
I am good, thank you. This is absolutely. We were just discussing before starting the recording of the video that even if it's August, the time and the workload is immense and huge, and it's no time for vacation in fintech at all. We have gathered several news for you, and we will start today with, as usually, with three news that we would like to share it with you.
And the really first one is going to be from United Kingdom. And from what we can see, actually, FCA is baking a lot of initiatives. And one of the interesting one that we would like to highlight is actually that UK FCA is forming a payment vision delivery committee, which is including Treasury, Bank of England, FCA, PSR, and they're working on retail payment infrastructure strategy. And it shows quite impactful changes to the market because the regulator is well aware that they need to build the infrastructure which is facilitating retails and digital commerce in the country. So what do you think about that, Dima?
It's the beginning of basically it's the foundation for building the next gen retail payment framework or legal framework for next generation fintech industry in the United Kingdom. As you mentioned before recording, it's no turning back point. So UK proved that digitalization will continue, will massively continue, and we will have a huge development in this stage. I think it's a step. Well, it's a separate step, but it's a first bird after the winter when we're more closer to having a PSD free. We understand that this foundation, this legal framework, will be applied in United Kingdom somewhere in mid of next year in 2026. It's not only, besides it being a foundation for financial market institutions, it's also a huge change in the market of payments, the view and the way how we will use and apply data, how we will implement some data-driven decisions, and maybe even some new ISO standards.
That's right. And I think that we are facing basically the phase when we have kind of the hybrid situation, when we have digital branches that are still cash money and a lot of things becoming digital. And that's why from regulators perspective, they putting much more resources and the focus to form the frameworks, the rules, and overall overview how actually the digital products are working. And providing the digital payment infrastructure is essential one, because I remember like in 2018, we were reviewing each month the reports, what is the split between customers using the digital applications on mobile phones, using web versions and the branches. And no one nowadays is asking like how you're using your bank or digital product. It's sitting in your pocket on your device, and that shows that even regulator, they understand that and pushing a lot this approach.
Correct, and this is basically the biggest reboot of UK financial market and payments market and everything related with fintech and finance from 2008 when the crisis hit. And this reboot is basically first the signals of collaboration between the regulators and the market. So it seems like regulators in UK understand that there is a gap between the reality of the market and the framework they're applying, and they want to catch the last train and to give possibility to business to develop, which is a great signal because UK financial market needs a reboot. They honestly need a new vision mostly after Brexit. And it can be a very strong investment of the government into the future of UK financial market and fintech market. So it's absolutely a great signal.
And fun to add maybe that FC or regulators, they go in with the radical steps like extending the business hours for the CHAPS operating hours, which shows like everyone used to think that there is a business day and the CHAPS transfers between institution is locked in the business hours. But it seems that understanding that it should be operating 24/7 is coming. And even discussing that the hours should be extended is a good highlight that impactful changes are here and knocking on the door. And maybe it gives us an ability to introduce the second use. Actually, it's a really good one. And it sounds like this year we see almost 90% growth in funding in fintechs, and it shows that investors, they're prioritizing larger deals. So it's not a post investment phase. So last year we saw a drop in funding in fintechs, but this year a lot of news which we even highlighted in our harvest is that IPOs are heading. A lot of companies are targeting United States market instead of United Kingdom or European Union as a Klarna. It shows that there is a focus and there is some cash that investors prioritizing for the fintechs. And almost 20% growth shows that there is a stability and good impact for the industry.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Investors are, they are searching for proven models. They want sustainability. They want sustainability in revenue also. They want good profitability. We are not anymore in the period when a good dynamic of developing of a company is very good metrics. We are not in the years when having a big amount of customers or users is a good signal to invest in that company. We came back basically to the base of economics, profitability. So a business needs to provide profits, and Revolut this year provided good results, profits maybe for first time, like Bitpanda, like SumUp, and other fintech products. This is why they exist. This this shift to to classical stability and sustainable models of fintech proves that we are at the, also as you mentioned, at the late stage. Proves that the market is formed. It doesn't mean that there is no more place for new actors. It means that the rules are formed. It means that Wild West dynamics, up and down investments and so on, is finished. Everything is calculated. Everything is structured. Regulators started to be very cautious. First news we had today about the UK regulators and also European regulators. We had the news before previous weeks. It's still, well, everybody are still cautious, but is a signal of of optimism, and that this industry is already established and is just new actors will have to play under standard stabilized rules.
And certain numbers in the first quarter of 2025, the total amount of investments into the fintech has been $5.4 billion. And it's just for one quarter. Just to compare with the numbers for the 2024, the total, it was 18 billions point $0.3 billion invested in fintech. So if we multiply the first quarter even by 4, and I think we see a growth into the investments, it shows a really good difference, almost 20% growth. And another case or another numbers which is really interesting to overview is the numbers of deals. So the first quarter it was just 180 deals, and compared to the total amount of the deals last year, it was 1,030 deals, which shows that the numbers is dropping on, but the total or the average amount of the investments is growing. So more money to the business proven models, and I think the market shifted from assumption that the business will grow into the let's see the proven facts that the business is having the traction, the business model, and attract customers.
That's correct. And we were talking at the beginning that exists, the UK regulators is the action they are doing is a first signal of PSD free. If this gave you something practical to think about, don't let's stop it here. Subscribe for more episodes that go beyond the buzzwords, leave a comment with your perspective, and share this with someone who builds, not just watches. Let's keep fintech honest, sharp, and useful. So let's move to another region, which also shows good signals of pre or already PSD free framework or similar to this in place. A region that proved that not only European Union is the engine that's driving the buy now pay later or other frameworks into product. It's MENA region. It's about Tarabut that received from Central Bank of United Arab Emirates approval for open banking rollout. As far as I know, this is the first open banking rollout or open finance. And I know that for you, I know that Igor, this topic is very close one. I think you worked with this company in the past. So what do you think about this? Is this a great step for MENA region? Are they started to be far away from European Union, or there's still place for the game?
I think innovations are not only happening in European Union. So MENA region is really good example with a lot of appetite for innovations in financial systems. And we have cases like Tamara with the buy now pay later, which is the most valued startup in this region. And as a Dashtevs, we've been fortunate to work and help to Tarabut to push the initial platform in Bahrain. So they were the really first company to have the open banking license in Bahrain. And today we learned that they acquired the license for open finance by Emirates regulator. And it shows that actually that's another high competitive market that we see. So overall, we're talking about United States, European Union, sometimes LATAM, but MENA is also doing a lot of things in financial innovations. And that shows that actually the digitalization happening not just in European Union. We see that MENA region, which is usually five countries, as Emirates, as Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait, is really growing. And there is a lot of appetite, and maybe another level that there is a lot of capital and VCs who are specifically targeting the financial startups to be invested in and growing the possibilities for the local market, which is great news. And it shows the competitiveness of the ideas and implementation in open banking and open finance world.
Open banking is not an option anymore. It's like it's a strategic decision. It's a strategic and important thing. Gulf countries is very quietly entering in this acceleration phase. We have now two, engines that are pushing this collaboration and and examples how it should be. I think that it will open for MENA region will open a lot of opportunities, like besides classical bank partnerships, also open opportunities for startups and companies that will provide service like cross-border wallets, transactions, data-driven lending, embedded finance. Embedded finance, I think, has a huge potential in that region. It's absolutely nice to see that authorities in that region understood this, and they are giving, first rollout, first license to the first company. I'm sure that in future, in like maybe next month, we'll have news where other companies will receive the same license. So it's absolutely a great signal, and it seems that we are entering in a very absolutely interesting phase.
And I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining and listen 3 news that we selected for you. Please join our channels and social networks and on YouTube. Please like our episodes, comment, and we are looking forward to see you on the next episode.
Have a nice week and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.